Okay, so this is my dashboard here. I started with who makes the most calls, just so we can see how active they are, and then compare that to their success rates and everything. I'll get into that later. Um, Time of day, I put some sliders in here so that you can say, okay, I want to look at lunchtime. I want to see how active they are around lunchtime. And then you want to compare that to 6 p.m. You see there's not very many people active then. So looking with this data, what you can take from this is, okay, well, we're receiving the most calls around 11 and 12 p.m. So people need to be taking their lunches um, probably later in the day when we're receiving less calls because we need more people active at these times. Um, for agent satisfaction rating, I wanted to include this so that you could see um, examples like this. So Martha is the top rated. She has a 3.54. However, she has the lowest calls resolved down here. So here I have all the average calls answered. We answer about 82%, but calls resolved 74%. We could get that higher. So, how do we get that higher? Let's take a look at Martha again. So, she has a high customer rating, which tells us she's very social. She's probably a very likable person. However, she's not resolving as many calls as everyone else. So, she has the least calls resolved. So, she would be the least productive, um, considering how many calls she makes. She's making 220, which isn't as many as Stewart here, and Stewart has a higher calls resolved. So Stewart's making 230 calls, 71% of those calls are getting resolved. But with Martha, she's only making 220, and she has 69% of those calls are resolved. So she needs more training on how to resolve. She needs more training here. We can see with these, we have the average, how long it takes to resolve these calls. So what areas are taking the longest or taking up our employees' time the most? Television, washing machine, and air conditioner are the top three out of the five. So we can compare, okay, let's see, television compared to toaster, quite a difference there. And then when we're looking at, so I could say, okay, well, then on average, we need to train everyone on television. However, um, some of them actually do pretty well with television, or more than others. So some would need more training there. Dan has 78% of his calls resolved. He has the highest percentage calls resolved, and he's making um, a lot of calls. So for 227 calls, 78% of them are getting resolved. That's a great employee right there. However, I can see here that he needs some more training with air conditioner. He needs some more training on television, and he takes longer on average. So I would say he needs more training on being faster with resolving these issues. Um, and he's only top three for the agent satisfaction rating. So I would say that he would need, so compared to Martha here, he, let me clear that real quick. He would need, he would need to work on uh, his interaction with the customers, how to be more polite. So that if I was their manager, I would probably use these statistics to read those things. So who needs to work on their customer interactions? Who needs to work on the product? Who needs to work on the timing of their resolutions? Who needs to work on calling more and being more active? Who needs to work on when they're going to lunch? So things like that. That's why I think that these tables were helpful and these sliders are important. Um, yeah, that's my dashboard.